Here's the truth about skinny wrists. The bones where you wear a watch stop growing after puberty. The joint itself has almost no muscle. It's mainly bone and tendons. But the forearm muscles sitting right above the wrist can grow. When they develop, they create a strong visual effect that makes the wrists appear thicker and more solid. Even with solid biceps and triceps, thin wrists can make the entire arm look weaker. Building the right muscles above them changes how the whole arm appears. Forearm muscles recover quickly. That's why some of the strongest arm wrestlers train them almost every day without long rest periods between sessions. The key is choosing the right exercises. Most wrist curls only work the surface muscles. They do not create the thickness that changes how the wrist looks. Research using electrodes on the forearm showed that pronation movements activate the pronator teres at a high level. This muscle sits just below the elbow on the inner side. This muscle adds width higher on the forearm. That width creates a natural taper. A thicker upper forearm next to a narrower wrist looks strong and balanced. 3 specific exercises stand out from the research and from real-world results. One comes from rock climbers. One comes from older bodybuilding methods. One targets the pronator directly. The first is the crimp grip dead hang. Climbers develop thick forearms because their deep finger muscles work under constant tension for long periods. This grip heavily activates the deep muscle that controls the fingertips. When that muscle grows, thickness increases through the entire lower forearm. To perform it, grip a pull-up bar with only the fingertips. Keep the fingers bent at the first knuckle. Arms stay straight. Shoulders stay slightly down. Start with short holds of 10 to 20 seconds. Use assistance if needed by keeping one foot on the ground or using a band for support. Rest 3 full minutes between sets. Only add weight after you can hold body weight for 30 seconds with no finger discomfort. Stop at any sharp pain. The second exercise is the behind-the-back finger curl. This older method forces the bar to roll into the fingertips on every repetition. Because the bar sits behind you, gravity pulls it toward the fingertips. Your fingers must close first before the wrists can curl the weight up. Start with an empty bar. Stand with your back to it. Grip it about shoulder width with palms facing backward. Keep a slight bend in the elbows. Let the bar roll fully into the fingertips. Feel the stretch. Then curl the fingers closed first. Bring the bar into the palms, and only then flex the wrists. Squeeze briefly at the top. Lower under control and allow the bar to roll back out. Perform 3 sets of 12 to 15 controlled repetitions. If the bar slips from the fingers, the weight is too heavy. Reduce it. Rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets and keep the movement strict. The third exercise trains the pronator teres directly. Sit down and rest one forearm on your thigh so the wrist hangs past the knee. Hold a light dumbbell with the palm facing up. Keep the wrist neutral. Slowly rotate the forearm until the palm faces the floor. You should feel the inner forearm working just below the elbow. Pause briefly at the bottom, then return slowly to the starting position. Use light weight only. This muscle responds better to higher repetitions and control than to heavy loads. Aim for 15 to 20 clean reps per arm. 3 sets per arm are enough. Rest about 60 seconds between sets. Keep the movement smooth and avoid using momentum. These 3 movements work different parts of the forearm. The hangs and finger curls build deep thickness. The rotation adds width higher up. Together, they create more complete development than standard wrist curls alone. The lower arm fills out, and the wrist appears thicker by comparison. The deep finger muscle runs the length of the forearm. Growing it increases size closer to the wrist where it matters most for appearance. The pronator adds the upper width that creates a clean taper. That taper is what makes the wrist look more defined and stronger. Because these muscles recover quickly, you can train them more often than larger muscle groups. Frequency helps produce steady progress over time. Training to a strong pump rather than complete failure allows you to return to the same muscles sooner without excessive soreness. Start by training these 3 exercises 2 or 3 times per week. That frequency works well for most people while they learn the movements. You can add them at the end of regular workouts or perform them as a short separate session on lighter days. Both approaches work. Avoid heavy forearm work right before deadlifts or pull-ups. Fresh grip strength is better saved for the main lifts that need it. In the first 2 weeks, focus only on clean form. Use lightweight or bodyweight hangs. Learn the movement patterns thoroughly. In weeks 3 and 4, begin adding small amounts of weight. Keep the focus on feeling the target muscles work during every repetition. After 8 to 10 weeks of consistent training, most people notice clearer forearm shape and better proportion around the wrists. Results come from regular practice and gradual progression. The bones will not change, but the muscles above them will respond to proper work. Use these 3 exercises consistently. Focus on form first, then progressive overload. Train them often enough to keep progressing. Stay patient with the process. Forearm growth is steady rather than dramatic, but the visual change around the wrists is noticeable over time. If you have questions about the form or how to fit these into your current training, leave them in the comments. Start with the version that matches your current strength. Train with control, stay consistent, and the lower arms will improve.